Hello viewers, and welcome back to the channel. You know, this awakening that we are experiencing is mind-blowing. It has many layers. The first phase I noticed was the errors of Christianity. I saw everything in a whole different light from the things that I was taught in Christianity for over 30 years. As a result, I left the church. I saw that certain people had begun to come together, if even for the wrong reasons. And I say for the wrong reasons because the prompting of this awakening, it brought forth occults that was in it for the wrong reason. They was in it to get so many people and manipulate their minds and stuff like that. So they was in it for the wrong reasons. And a lot of our men was in it for how many wives they can have and all that kind of nonsense. They was in it for that reason. So, but they came together like I never seen before. I saw families break up. I also noticed that people experience an overflow of discernment. Some of the people, you know, that had come together even for the wrong reasons, they had an overflow of knowledge of the Word of God. They had an overflow of, as time went by, I noticed that some people had an overflow of discernment associated with the things of God and the words of God. People begin to congregate on corners, byways, to deliver Yah's word. There appeared to be a spiritual enlightenment among our people. The Bible said that there will be a great falling away from the church. I'm not saying that what I'm saying here is the total prophecy of that, but there was a great falling away of the church. People proceeded to unlearn and relearn some things. I noticed that a lot of our people became very intuitive. There appeared to be a percolation of wisdom and understanding, noticeably coming from within. And so that's why I say it was like a percolation of knowledge. It seemed like this knowledge was just percolating from out, you know, from the inside out of these people. The knowledge of God. And I've never seen that before. A definite shifting of energy is taking place. A definite shifting of energy is taking place. It feels like the shifting is happening to a present or has been rulership that is being replaced with a more primitive with a more primitive understanding of the things of God, basic things of God and sources, or an early stage in the historical development of something that has always been, but perhaps had gone dormant for a period of time, but is now remanifesting itself back to its original state to be recomputed and transformed into its original state of being. That is what I'm feeling for this awakening. As we draw nigh to the spiritual realms in this new dispensation, or some of you will say the new age, which is a very important factor in this divine awakening. This new dispensation is a very important factor in this awakening. And a lot of people don't seem to know about the changing of the dispensations. And it's something that you all need to go and study. You know, we study everything that we want to know. When we go to college, we study the things that we want to know. When we go to a new job, we study the things that we want to be excellent at. But somehow when it comes to the Most High God, we don't take out the time to study. You know, we want it like McDonald's, you know, quick, fast. As soon as you order, you get what you're asking for. Or it's kind of like if you're watching television, you want a remote where you could just hit the button and change it to whatever you want it to be as quickly as possible. It's not like that. That is not the real reality. The real reality, my people, is when you set out to get information and to learn something according to God, you have to show due diligence. You have to show that you're worthy. Because if you're not worthy, and then you will find that you will not comprehend a lot of things. Now, I said this to a young man that had a video that I totally respect him. I respect him. But he was saying that the Bible is the white man book. And that he was totally wrong. He was totally wrong. The Bible is a black magic book. I'm just going to come out and say it. The Bible is a black magic book. And that's why not, anybody just can't pick it up and interpret it. That's why if you look into it, you will see that the Psalms some of them are curses. Some of them are spells. Okay? And some are blessings. So you don't you take my word for anything I'm saying. And I'm suggesting that you don't take nobody's word. When a person says something, you do your research. We have to stop being lazy. Because when it comes to God, the Most High God, we are lazy. We want to turn on YouTube, or we want to turn on some type of channel or read a book and find out all we need to know, and without doing any of the due diligence. Due diligence is part of the process for you becoming who you need to be, of your higher self. And so you can't stand clear of it. You have to do your due diligence. Okay? So I know that there's a definite shifting of energy. Okay, it's taking place. It feels like this shifting is happening to a present or a has-been rulership that is now being replaced by a more primitive or basic source, or a early stage of something that's a historical development of something that has always been, but perhaps has gone dormant for a period of time because it was not yet time for it to come to fruition, for it to come back to its original state. But it is now remanifesting itself back to its original state, to be recomputed and transformed to its original being. And this is what we're undergoing. As we draw nigh to the spiritual realms. And what I mean by the spiritual realms is, the spiritual realms is like the 3D. The 3D is the physical realm, the realm that we all can see, that we live in, that this avatar, or you would say body, that we live in, is stand present in. So we're going from the 3D to the 5D. The 5D is the spiritual realm. This 5D is the spiritual realm. And so we are actually changing from this physical realm to our natural self, which is the spiritual realm. Okay? Now I want you all to look it up, and if you have anything to say in the comments, let's discuss it. Okay, so again, as we draw nigh to this spiritual realm in this new dispensation, and that's another thing, I would like for you all to look up dispensation, or some of you would say this new age. We have entered into a new age, which is a very, very important factor of this awakening. And that's why I'm saying this awakening is mind-blowing, because it has many, many layers. Okay? So one of the layers is that there's a new dispensation, and people are changing. I don't know if you have felt it, but I feel it. Things are changing. I mean, it's not the same. People are not the same. People are not thinking the same. It's just that we are, like I said, we are, it's like a thin veil between the physical and the spiritual now. And this is why we're feeling all chaotic. A lot of us are feeling, we're drained of our energy. We are sleeping less. We seem to be confused. All these full moons mean certain things that's affecting this awakening. These eclipses are meaning, they mean that it's the end of something and the beginning of something new. And so we're, it's our energy is changing and it's different. And so we feel chaotic. We don't know how to feel. Everything seems to be going helter-skelter, for lack of another word or another experience. Okay? So like I said, it seems like nothing is the same. People seem to be drawn towards esoteric knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. Therefore, discarding of their conventional or esoteric ideology. This is what's happening. For example, I'm going to use myself as an example. I testify that my appetite for food has diminished and has been replaced with a desire to vibrate higher by way of consistent meditation, self-evaluation, self-worth, spiritual growth, and prayer. This is my experience. A lot of so-called black people seem to have a sudden hunger and thirst for the knowledge of the Most High God. I've never seen this before in my years that I've been here in captivity, and I would also hear in my experience as a spirit having a human I'm not human, I ain't gonna say that. My experience as being a spirit on earth, living as man. I'm not gonna say human, because you know what I want you all to do? I want you to look up the word human and see what human really means. Because I'm not even going to say it on here, because you know some of you are so embedded in the things of this system that you know when a person mentions something that you don't understand, you become feisty and you become it seems like you insulted that they said something that you know you don't understand. Instead of you going and trying to understand it, you get angry at the person, and we need to stop doing that. So look up what a human is, and while you're looking up what a human is, also look up what it's called a lunar primate. Look up what that means, and I want you to do some research for yourself. Do some research on lunar primates, and then it'll go back and you will understand exactly what I mean when I say I am not human. I am not human. I'm not having a human experience. I'm having a experience of man, because when God created us into his image and his likeness, he called us man. He never called us human. He never did that. He never called us human. Okay, so let's move on. Okay, so it seems as though people are transforming from a physical realm to a spiritual realm right in plain sight, but a lot of us don't know what that means because we're not diligent in our seeking. We're not diligent. There is a way that is a narrow road that the Bible says only few would take. And the reason why few would take that narrow road is because we don't want to equip ourselves to really take that road. That road comes with diligence. It comes with faith. It comes with the knowledge of God, not the knowledge, not conventional knowledge, esoteric knowledge. It comes with the things that of our tradition that was handed down to us from our forefathers. And a lot of us don't want to hear it, but it was handed down to us from our ancestors. And a lot of us, I hear some of our people say, well, you know, the ancestors dead and you need to leave it there. Those people were here for a reason. And it was information that they were supposed to pass down to us. And they wasn't able to do it because a lot of them was killed off so that, another group of people could own everything that they had, and then they and could re-educate us. And so for you to say, your ancestors, they dead. They came here for a reason. And so the reason that they came here, it's not dead. It's not dead. That reason is inside of you. And it is your duty to pull it up out of you. See, some of us, we got to get rid of some of the Christianity understanding. We got to get rid of that. Because if we don't, we're never going to understand the full slate of what we're here for. When the Bible says, and be fruitful and multiply, Being fruitful means to be full of seed. It means for that generation to pass stuff down to the next generation, giving seed to that generation so that they can know and they can understand and they can reproduce and they can keep passing that seed down. But our seed wasn't able to be passed down like that because our people was murdered for the land. And then we were re-educated and our culture was removed from us. But God had already taken care of that because he knew it was going to happen. So you know what he did? He put it in our DNA. So what we got to do is we got to don't be so quick to say, well, something is wrong, because it's too much out here for you to say anything is wrong. It's a lot you got to learn before you can determine that something is wrong. So let me just, I'm getting off my subject here, so I'm going to go on and move on to what we was talking about, okay? Okay. It seems as though, like I said, people are transforming from the spiritual realm to a spiritual, from the physical realm to a spiritual realm in plain sight. They're doing it in plain sight. And I'm going to share with you another one of my personal experiences. That have to do with this awakening. It's that the desire I had to learn more by reading books and admiring great speakers has diminished. That's another one of my experiences with this great awakening. It has diminished and has become, it has come replaced with the anticipation of my next spiritual download. Because if you are serious, if you are diligent to the things of God, there will become a point in your life where you don't have to read books. You don't have to read books, and you don't have to search for the intellect of others. The Most High God, and I am a witness to this, will give you spiritual downloads. And these downloads will come from, some people say the universe. I'm going to say from the Most High God, because it's all one. God, the universe, spirituality, it's all one. It's all tied together. And when I say the universe, I'm talking about the moon, I'm talking about the stars, I'm talking about the sun, I'm talking about the planets. We're all one. We're all one. And so I've learned that there is so much out here that it's like, it's infinite. It's endless. Okay? So my hunger now is not for the knowledge of intelligent people. It's not for the knowledge that I get from books. It's from the culture, my culture, and the tradition that's in me. And that I need to get that back up. And I need to get it back to life. So that the culture that was taken from me, they really didn't take it from me because it's in me. And the reason why they can't take it from me is because it's in me. It's me. It's a part of me. And so what I need to do is do my diligence to get back to understanding of the things of God that is within me. It's a primitive cultural tradition that includes the oneness. Now let me tell you about the oneness. On April the 8th, this year, 2024, during the solar eclipse, that was the first solar eclipse I ever actually went and stood before, and that I actually watched. And it was an experience that I'll never forget. I experienced the oneness with the sun that stood in the sky, and the moon that came up, and she was brought to the sun as a wife is brought to a husband, and they kissed. And when they kissed, there was a fiery ring. You know what a ring means? A ring means completion. When you get married and your husband and your wife give you a ring, it's completion. It's infinite. There's no end to it. It's a ring. The energy just constantly flow around it. And that happened in the sky. And so when that happened with the sun, the moon, coming together and kissing and giving off that energy, and guess what, y'all? I was included. I was included in that oneness. I was included in that oneness. And it's an experience, I could say it was a spiritual high that I'm now seeking. That I am now seeking. So what I'm really saying here is the knowledge, wisdom, and the understanding of God, we have been shortchanged because it had been kept from us. But like I said, on April the 8th, 2024, I experienced it. We still have access to it. We have access to it, my people. And it's infinite. It's boundless. Listen to what I'm saying. It's endless. And it's larger than any number, any natural number that you can imagine. It's so much out here. So be careful what you say about what's wrong and what's right. Because a lot of us, we are still in the dispensation of grace. And like I said, the dispensation of grace is not completely gone. But we are in a new dispensation. And I believe that the changing of the dispensations is a factor of somewhat elimination. Because the people that don't come over, into the new age, the new dispensation, like now we're right close to the spiritual realms, is my opinion. I'm not saying it's absolutely right. But the people that don't come and adhere into that next dispensation, it kind of shows where your lack is. It kind of shows where your understanding is. We are entering into the forevermore. Now, some people are here for the here and now, but some of us is here for the forevermore. And so we understand how the Spirit's working. We understand how the Spirit is moving from one realm to the next realm, from one dispensation to another dispensation. And in doing that, I think certain people are eliminated because some of them are never going to understand. You know, they actually think you are a demon or something because you are growing and you're learning. Keep in mind, people, we are a people who is a spiritual people having a man experience. Having a man experience. Not man-like, not human, not mankind. We are having the experience that God braided us for when he said, let us make man in our image and our likeness. Not human, not mankind. He didn't put any prefixes or suffixes on that word. He said man. He didn't say human. He didn't say that. We have to learn to pay attention to words. Words are spells. Words are very important. I've said this in all my videos. Slow down and pay attention to the words. Because you've been called a human all your life, don't mean you're a human. Like I said, I'm gonna give you a little subject again. Let me say it again. Look up lunar primates. Look up lunar primates, and you study it for yourself. And I would totally appreciate if you come back to me, and maybe we can have a discussion about it. And then maybe some more I need to learn about it as well. But I learned enough about it to know that I am not human. I'm not human, and I'm not mankind. I'm man. And the Bible tells me that. The Bible tells me that in Genesis 5. And it tells me that in Genesis 1. It says man. And so we all have to learn to not add to the word and not to take away from it. No prefixes, no suffix. Thank you for tuning into this channel. It's been an honor to be before you again. And if you have any questions or anything that you would like to discuss, please hit me up in the comment area. Thank you again for tuning in.